brothers and sisters, brothers and sisters, I don't know what this world is coming to.
You know how it go. Every 168 hours, it's the End of the Bench podcast hosted by your man B. I'm coming at you. I'm going to give you a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We're going to talk a little football, man. We're going to talk a lot of football tonight, actually. We're going to talk a little baseball. We're going to talk a little basketball. I'm going to do the final preview. You know what? I'm really thinking it may not be a show this weekend, so I'm going to cram in everything I can. I may even do a little college football. Either way, we're going to have a little fun, as you already know. You can check us out here on Spreaker.com or check us out on iTunes. Please subscribe to both. Then you can check us out on Facebook, The End of the Bench, THAENDOFDABENCH. That's how you get in contact with me. If you want to chop it up with your boy, go directly to the chat room. I just said what's up to the chat room. And if you're part of the crew, man, be a bench warmer. Get in the chat room, talk crazy with me. We're going to have some fun. You can always hit me up on social media. The social media contacts are at HRAP_B, HRAP_B at Twitter and on Instagram. You can find the show on Twitter as well, The End of the Bench, THAENDOFDABENCH. And that's the man said. Once again, it's on. Man, this has been an interesting week in sports. I'll tell you that, man. You got the NFL weekend that just went past. It's always exciting. It's kind of tough. Not watching as much as I used to. I mean, I watch to be abreast, but not to be entertained. Angry Black Man, what's up, bro? Welcome aboard. And, you know, I want to talk about the coaching. I want to talk about defenses. I want to talk about about the ring situation. You got Drew Brees and Tom Brady accomplishing some they're reaching some major milestones, and I want to talk about that. I'm going to talk, you know, as usual, I haven't done this in the last few weeks, and because I may not have a show Wednesday due to a tragedy in my family, I'm going to do the Supreme Court today. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and commit to it. I'm not doing anything Wednesday, but I'm going to keep it funky with you as long as I can. When I run out of information, I'm going to end the show. So I'm going to do the Supreme Court on quarterbacks. Y'all going to be disappointed in that list, but it's my list. It's always the chat room. You can holler at your boy. Then we're going to do, I'm going to talk about, is it poor coaching or poor quarterback play? I've been watching the homie Dak Prescott. He disappointed me this summer with some of his rhetoric, but now, you know what? I'm going to talk about that too. And then we're going to talk about MLB. The MLB playoffs, as usual, at this time of the year. And that's where I'm going to start. This time of the year is usually MLB time. The NFL, like I told y'all, we are not going to get, due to the lack of physicality being removed from the game of football in the NFL, we are not going to get good football until week 6 every year. If you don't believe me, if you just check your memory, you'll see around week 5 or week 6, we get real football again. We get a whole lot of fluff because these dudes are used to bumping into each other on a regular basis. If you're not bumping into your brothers and your homies and getting toughened up, it's going to take you a while to get acclimated to the physicality. And that's what we're watching in the NFL right now. We're watching a bunch of dudes getting acclimated to the physicality of football, and it's a little skewed. So what I'm going to do is talk about that. Now, again, back to baseball. Baseball is insane right now. You got the American League Championship Series set up. You got the National League Championship Series set up. Shout out to the teams that have been removed to the playoffs. No matter what people say, and no matter what rhetoric is out there, you've had an excellent season. It's foolish to believe because you didn't win the World Series or you didn't get to the play. You didn't advance deep into the playoffs. You've had a poor season. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And if you've gotten this far, shout out to you. Much love to every team that's out of the playoffs. Thank you. What's up, Red? What's good, baby? Big ups to the teams that's no longer in the playoffs. Now, to the teams that are in the playoffs, we talking about the Los Angeles Dodgers, probably the most talented team in the National League, and the Milwaukee Brewers, the hottest team in the National League. As you remember, over the last few weeks, I've been saying baseball is not about the best team at all times. The best team, look, if you have two very good or very hot pitchers, you can come through and shut down any team in the history of baseball. So it's not about the best team, it's who's clicking on all cylinders. The good thing is, over the last month, the Milwaukee Brewers have dialed back the clock to 1983, and it looks like they are back in full effect. They have people hitting all over the place. They got timely pitching, one of the best bullpens in all of the playoffs. It's going to be very interesting, and you got the bankroll team. The Los Angeles Dodgers have always, they are pretty much, even though they haven't won as many World Series, they are pretty much the National League Yankees. They will spend and spend and spend until they get to the right situation. The beautiful thing about the Dodgers is a lot of their players come from their minor league system, the old-fashioned way. Unlike the Yankees, they will, at this point, they will develop their talent. Actually, historically, they've developed their talent. So it's going to be a very interesting situation. Then you go over to the National American League. The American League playoffs, this is exactly where we thought we would be in March or April. We said it's going to be Houston and Boston. Boston looking real good. For whatever reason, y'all, I can't even explain to you. I freaking hate everything Boston. Hey, I know I just probably alienated a fan base, but hey man, it's 49 other states. And there's some people in Boston that hate Boston and hate Boston teams, so hopefully they'll keep listening. But at the end of the day, I can't root for anything in Boston. Therefore, I'm looking at Houston. But Houston, again, is one of the more well-rounded teams, and they are debunking the pure analytics side of baseball. These dudes are going deep into the pitch count. They're letting their pitchers pitch full games. They're resting their bullpens, so in the event that they need their bullpens, it's not a problem. I'm really digging that because unlike most people who just simply conform to whatever they're saying on TV and on ESPN, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to live in the world whereas you have the people on ESPN and others telling you exactly what to do and how to think. Baseball is a game for the thinking. It is a chess match with real people. That's pretty much what it is. So when you look at these games, you are going to see people like Justin Verlander that go deep into games, and you're going to see people striking out less, which makes them a more formidable team. They get your team. It's about attrition with baseball. It's about thinking your way through the game. And the Houston Astros, they do that. And even if it wasn't Boston they were going up against, it'd be hard to root against a team like that. So, as you already know, I'm straight underdog at all times. Even though I've always been a low-key Dodger fan. See, when you come from my age, you like the Yankees, you like the Dodgers, you like the Steelers, you like the Cowboys, because those were the teams that were dominating sports at the time. All that propaganda that people like to give to you about, see, sports didn't used to be so predictable. I don't know where these people are living at and where they were living. In my lifetime, sports has always been predictable. You knew in the early 80s, the Dodgers and the Yankees were going to duke it out for the World Series, in the late 70s even for that matter. And then you knew the Steelers and the Cowboys would be fighting and so forth and so on. So when people tell you, we talking basketball, Celtics and the Lakers dominated the 80s. So when you hear these terms like super teams and it's not excited anymore because we know who's going to win, I'm looking at Angry Black Man, I'm looking at Red, they've checked in. If you're looking in the chat room, you can clearly see they will confirm throughout their youth and throughout most of our youth of people of my age, we knew it was going to be the Lakers and the Celtics in the finals every year. So when people tell that lie, see, it's boring because we know Golden State going to win. Hey, I knew in the early 80s it was going to be the Lakers and the Sixers. Then Larry Bird stepped up, it was the Lakers and the Celtics. Then Isaiah Thomas stepped up and it was Lakers and the Pistons, and then Clyde Drexler stepped up, and it was the Pistons against the Portland Trail Blazers. And then guess what? the Lakers came back. So miss me with that nonsense about predictable and it's boring. No, it's not. If it's boring now, it's been boring your whole life, or your entire life or your entire adult life. So please miss me with that nonsense. Either way, it's a coin toss in regards to who I'm rooting for in the National League. I like Milwaukee as the underdog, and as well, I like the Dodgers because that's the team I grew up cheering for, and I like Houston flat out. So you know what? I'm going to go underdog versus underdog. Houston versus Milwaukee. Milwaukee taking it all because Houston won it last year. Or, seeing how I graduated in 1988, the Dodgers won last of 88. Maybe I'll go for the Dodgers. It don't make a difference who win as long as Boston don't win. I wouldn't give a damn. Only thing short of a Boston team losing that I wouldn't root for is if the Clan put a team in any major sport. Then I can't root for them. But if it's Boston, I ain't root. I did, full disclosure, when the brother Doc Rivers was the coach, I was rooting for Boston because it was a brother's coach. And Ray Allen is my second favorite. Well, it's my favorite two guard of all time. So that's why I rooted for Boston then, and I didn't like Kobe. So either way. But with that being said, man, let me move on to football. You know what? I'm not going to move on to football. And I'm going to slow down because I got a lot of time. I'm speaking fast as if I don't have time. And I do have time. Ant in the building. My man, big Illinois, Ant 73. Welcome aboard, man. Welcome to the bench. Ant says it's going to be Houston and the Brewers. Who you got at Houston and the Brewers? Who you got with Houston and the Brewers after that shakeout, big dog? Who you got? While I'm waiting on Ant to respond on who's gonna win ultimately, I will move on to this whole MMA thing, man. I'm not really a big fan of that. That seems to be a joke to me. The whole mixed martial arts thing, UFC, Houston, Ant got Houston for everything. All right, Ant, man, we might have to lay down a wage or something. I'm gonna go with the Milwaukee Brewers if they make it. And I like, as long as Boston don't win, for real, I don't care who wins. In 7. Houston in 7. Welcome aboard, big dog. Thanks for the contribution to the show. This weekend, Conor McGregor and Khabib went at it. See, the thing is, I think the whole MMA thing is, it's like an alley fight put on TV, man. I get it. I know people like the carnage and things of that nature. I actually blame boxing for this. The reason MMA or UFC or whatever you want to call it is big is because here's a history lesson. Here comes the history lesson in the show. I blame Sugar Ray Leonard. And I know you probably thinking, damn, why the hell you blame Sugar Ray Leonard? He ain't had a fight in about 20 years. The reason I blame Sugar Ray Leonard, everybody, again, this is why you listen to my show, because I'm going to give you the history of the situation. I'm going to give you the history of my opinion, and I'm going to let you know why I feel the way I feel. Now, back to the history lesson. The reason I blame Ray Leonard is this. At one point in my lifetime, if you were the baddest dude in the world, you fought the champ. Because the champ was the baddest dude in the world. Well, in the early part of my career, it was Muhammad Ali taking on people like Joe Frazier, George Foreman, Ken Norton, and those guys. Later on, there was Larry Holmes and Ken Norton, and then it matriculated on throughout history. In the midst, at the very end of Muhammad Ali's career, this guy named Ray Leonard, you know him as Sugar Ray Leonard. He was a relatively intelligent guy. He told a lie that he wasn't going to be a professional boxer. He was going to medical school. Anybody with 30% of a brain knew he was telling a damn lie. But anyway, obviously, you see, I'm not a big giant Ray Leonard fan. He was dope, but I'm just not a fan. Now, as things went on, Ray Leonard took over where Ali picked up at. He was a welterweight. He was looking real good. He was dazzling with speed. He had enough power to keep people up off of him. He'd knock you out. Ray Leonard was a cold-blooded fighter, man. There's no denying that. As things went on, Ray Leonard fought Roberto Duran. And, again, the toughest dude stepped up and fought the dude who wanted to challenge him, which made boxing the number one combat sport on earth. There really was no other combat sport. Nobody watching Greco-Roman wrestling. So it made people engage in the boxing world. Now, as Ray dominated the sport, he fought Floyd Mayweather, uncle and father. He fought Roberto Duran, lost once, came back, fought his fight and dominated him, made him go no mas. Then he fought Tommy Hearns and got a detached